Welcome back to Sonic Generations, where we're now going into the Sky Sanctuary zone. And to go back a little bit on something I said in a previous part, Sky Sanctuary is one of the later stages from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And it does seem odd to me that they would pick a later stage, given the classic era appears near the start of Generations, but at the same time I'm cool with this because it means we get a little bit more variety, as opposed to just having several Green Hill pastiches.
Sonic realised he made a huge mistake.
Yeah, you didn't have to rescue Amy, Sonic. It's fine. No one would have judged you if you just left her there.
Just skip it. Let her remain erased from history.
Yeah, just leave her there. But that is pretty much the gimmick here, that whenever you beat a new world, you will free one of the characters. Like we can see Knuckles just frozen there. And it makes sense that he's there, given this is his Sky Sanctuary, really.
Why didn't the Time Eater erase Sonic first, instead of everyone else?
Because we need a game. That's essentially it.
Eggman's managed to get hold of this omnipotent power, and yet he decides not to erase Sonic.
I think it was just a sort of firing blanks and hoping that you'd hit the ones you wanted, really. Like the Time Eater, when we saw it in that first cutscene, it really didn't look like it knew what it was doing.
True.
Other than completely deafening us with how fucking loud it is. Because it is, I've noticed, like, the more recent Sonic games on the whole tend to be more consistent with sound balancing, but the Time Eater is so much louder than literally everything else in this game. It's really off-putting to listen to, actually, when you got the TV up. Yeah, the Sky Sanctuary zone, they've adapted it, they've changed the colour palette quite a bit in this, because in Sonic and Knuckles it was more of a yellow and green, whereas here it's mostly white and green, which I suppose they're just doing that to kind of make it, like, put more emphasis on it in HD, which kind of makes sense. I know when some people have blown it out of proportion, and then there's other people who have blown that being out of proportion, as always happens in online debates, but yeah, I think it looks quite pretty, honestly. And you can see the Death Egg in the background, which is another little nod to 3NK.
You mean Star Wars?
yeah, pretty much.
I rarely look at the background.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on in the background there. Like, you can see what looks like more level going behind us there, can't you? And it kind of, I think I remember talking about this a bit in the Sonic 4 commentary as well, that they do that sometimes in these 3D adaptations of 2D levels, where it just kind of makes the world come together a little bit more. It's not just like a 2D plane with nothing else. It just is like a 3D world that we're going through in 2D for some reason.
Yeah.
I do like the little alternate routes that you could have taken that are shown in the background or the foreground. Or underneath.
Or up and down and all around. We'll get to Speed Highway later on. But yeah, it just really develops a lot of stuff really well. And then you get sections like this where if you don't do exactly what you're meant to do, you'll sort of fall down. And you do actually have to go through all 3 routes in different runs if you want to get all the red rings, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, I never bothered getting all of them, to be honest. And yeah, so that was Act 1 of Sky Sanctuary. Overall, pretty okay, but there's some stuff that, like, is a little bit more blocky than I would have cared for, honestly.
What's the most recent Sonic game, by the way, at the moment?
The main one was Rise of Lyric.
Rise of Lyric, okay. That's the one with Knuckles redesign and
the one where he skipped leg day.
Oh, right, yeah. I miss Generations Knuckles and just regular Knuckles, to be honest.
I miss Sonic being good. So it's something that I've talked about a little bit, and people seem to think I'm being melodramatic here, which maybe I am, but like this to me, the current day of Sonic feels like the third Dark Age. Because we had the first one was like, you know, between 3NK and Adventure, you know, where all these sort of not much was happening. Because because like you got Sonic R as your highlight. That kind of says a lot. But then there was the other one, like the mid 2000s. You know, Heroes to like just before Black Knight, I would probably say, which was the experimental phase where none of the experiments actually worked. And now you've got the boring Dark Age, I would put it, because you got Lost World, Boom, you got all the mobile stuff. I would say this is actually probably the most offensive Dark Age, current day one. The reason I say that is because at least during the wacky experimental mid-2000s one, at least I was interested. Whereas, like, I can't really get too excited over Sonic Boom games or,
It's bland, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the worst thing a game can be is dull.
It's just like painfully average. If it's bad, you can laugh about it, but when it's just painfully sort of mediocre and just beige, it's just not
But
good, is it?
then Boom did have all those glitches that are hilarious.
Well, I would say Boom's wasn't quite as entertaining bad as, say, something like 06 or whatever.
True, but I'm still sticking with 06 as the worst one, considering just how many things are wrong with it. I mean, yeah, Boom's bland, but I'd rather take something that will only last me a day over something that will last me a week.
Yeah, I guess, 06 is quite a bit longer, but I don't mind. I don't actually mind 06 that much these days. I've got this kind of weird appreciation for it in, at least it's consistently bad. That's a very weird thing to say, but it feels like a complete package.
What, Boom doesn't feel consistently bad? It's bad all the way through, just like
I say,
06.
it's just dull. 06 has got this weird charm to it that Boom just doesn't have to me, and maybe it is because it's more recent. I haven't had that time to kind of settle down with it. But like 06, I know all of its quirks, and I know exactly what I can do to my benefit. I know what I can do to have more fun with it, tinker around with the glitches and stuff. I just get more out of it. I think overall this modern Sky Sanctuary adaptation is quite a lot of fun. It took me a lot of attempts to get down because I'm bad at it, but that's pretty much all of it really.
What does it say about us that we're watching a really good Sonic game and all we can talk about are the shit ones?
That seems to happen a fair bit actually, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter what game it is, you always revolve back to a shit Sonic game. It could be a completely different franchise altogether. Had no connections to Sonic in any way.
Let's talk about Sonic 06.
Yeah, let's just talk about how shit that game was. Have you forgotten how bad it was? Nah.
I don't know if you remember, I was watching back some of our Ruby run a little while back, and I remember there was a time when you actually told me off for doing that. And nowadays we just do it all the time.
What's the point?